Chapter 45. Paris, France. Dawn. July 14th, 1789. As promised, Bill made his way to the park at dawn, violently hungover, joining a group of agitated radicals already rallying around Jacob as he spoke in rapid French. The growing crowd nodding their heads and shouting while shaking their fists at the sky. "Excuse me, would you, son?" Bill pushed his way forward, catching the pleasantly shocked eye of the orator. "My American brethren," he waved Bill to his side, "you must tell the others how you have fared in the Americas since your war of freedom from the oppressors of your nation." Bill nodded, forming a steeple with his fingers reflectively as he desperately attempted to cobble together a cohesive, relevant thought, clearing his throat to buy more time before speaking. "It is good. It has been very independent since we warred with, England. For the ramparts we held, the bombs bursting in air, the land of the free, to be you and to be me." Bill raised a fist to the sky, shaking it as the crowds strained to hear Thomas Boucher's French translation, before concluding, "Though I know injustice. Why, when I arrived just yesterday, the police arrested my uncle and his gentleman friend, just took 'em away, no warrant, and now I have to find them at this Bastille place. Y'all know it?" Thomas followed this speech with a final rapid string of words that galvanized the unruly spectators into action, their voices roaring over his as he cried, "À la Bastille!" Thomas then shouted in English, "To the Bastille, Bill!" Bill found himself leading an angry mob down the streets of Paris, picking up more disgruntled participants as they strode aggressively down the avenues. "We should hang them all!" a woman to his right shouted gleefully in his ear, her compatriots nodding in agreement. Bill looked to Thomas marching to his left, remarking casually, "Hang? I thought you guys liked to chop off heads, eh? The guillotine and all that," before being carried away on another stream in the swelling tide of humanity. "Guillotine?" Thomas repeated, losing sight of Texas Bill, his mind blown by the recommendation. So simple, yet so profound. As the mob breached the front gates of the fort, quickly overtaking the few sleepy guards with sheer mass, Bill glanced at his wristwatch and realized the minute countdown was activated, his time in France growing blessedly to an end, and knew he had to locate his uncle and Marivel immediately. Otherwise, he might never know how to find this Aunt Penelope character, or more importantly, his wife. Poot sniffed the perimeter of the courtyard, sprinting ahead as she followed a smell. Bill, noting her fascination with Marivel and the determined set of her nubby tail as she caught a scent, peeled off from the surging crowds, following the dog down a treacherously narrow stairwell that led to the dungeons beneath the Bastille, stopping before a great iron door where she pawed excitedly, sniffing the air around it. A wrinkled hand shot out from beneath the door for Poot to sniff. "Bill?" Phineas's muffled voice came from the space between the cell door and the cobblestone floor. "Is that you?" "It's me," Bill announced. "I've come to get you out." After a series of long, tense seconds, the sounds of battle and chaos drawing ever closer, during which Bill repeatedly tried and failed to kick in the door or manipulate the solid iron lock, he dropped to his knees, stooping to shout an apology as an eyeball appeared under the door. "Don't worry about that, son," Phineas blinked, Poot's snout eclipsing his view as he groused, "Oh, hello, Poot. How long do you have, Bill?" Bill glanced down at his watch. "Minutes." Phineas's eye disappeared, and another eye, Marivel's, appeared in its place. "Bill," Marivel exclaimed, enunciating carefully, "I don't suppose you remember what I told you about the clock's history log, because this is very important in your search for Aunt Penelope. You must find the dial on the Sanders clock with the infinity symbol upon it. It could be anywhere on the clock, usually the top or bottom, perhaps within a concealed panel. You'll want to locate that and turn it to reset the clock's destination to a previous coordinate. The only problem being it stores those locations randomly, so you won't know where you're going until you get there. I'd recommend timing these investigatory trips conservatively if I were you. Each coordinate could hold a clue, a potential home or base from where one might find or meet this ant. Bill nodded, distracted as another explosion rocked the crumbling stone walls around them. And Bill, Marivel went on, his voice rising over the chaotic din of footsteps on the stairwell, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to swear the oath. The oath? Bill's knees ached as he leaned closer, demanding impatiently, What oath? The time traveler's oath, Bill. Follow me, Marivel went on. I, Bill. Bill glanced at his watch, the seconds disappearing, rolling his eyes as he swore. I, Bill. Promise to protect time, Marivel went on. Promise to protect time, Bill rushed. Hurry, goddammit, Marivel. I promise to protect time, Marivel repeated, adding, and to protect my fellow travelers. Yes, I promise, Bill swore as a contingent of soldiers spotted him and rushed forward, weapons drawn. Say it, Marivel ordered. To protect my fellow travelers, there! When you find this Penelope, Bill heard Marivel shout as he grew lightheaded, feeling his particles scatter into the ethos. Don't approach! She could be dangerous! Notate the coordinates and leave a message for me at the first UPS! The first UPS office! A telegram! Boom. Whoosh.
Ô Britannie, ma jolie Bretagne, je te dédie cette petite chanson. T'es bien monté comme une chaîne de montagne, t'es bien roulé comme...